Hey, resilient warriors. How are you guys doing? Hopefully, you guys are doing good. Uh, I'm here again. This will be another presentation that I will be doing. And just remember, it might be difficult right now, but you know what? We're all resilient, we're all warriors, and we will get through this. Of course, if you need help, please contact your primary care physician or your insurance company or 911 if you have an emergency. Please do so. So today I will be talking about anxiety and coping, how to manage worry, your kids, and your own during distance learning and COVID-19. So this is for the parents, parents who have kids. But you know what? I think a lot of these tips you could apply them to yourself, even if you don't have kids. Your teachers, again, you could apply this. Okay. So here we go. So our objective today is going to be exploring practices to help our children and ourselves to manage anxiety during current distance learning and COVID-19. Pretty straightforward. My goal is to provide information, and hopefully you feel like you want to further explore and learn more about whatever little things I brought up, okay? So first of all, number one would be defining calmness. What is it? Well, it means peaceful, quiet, without worry. To stop someone from feeling upset, angry, or excited. Yes, even excited. A quiet or peaceful period or situation. Peaceful, quiet, or relaxed, without hurried anxiety. I want you to focus on the second line where it says to stop someone from feeling upset, angry, or excited. That means that it is okay to feel the feelings. But we're going to try to manage them and hopefully stop them or minimize them. So some tips for calmness. So we're going to get into the meat of this presentation. Number one, be careful what you're reading or watching. It's so important that you consider putting a limit on the number of articles you read or for how long you read about coronavirus each day or how much news you watch. Be thoughtful about what we are reading online to make sure it's actually helpful. But make sure it's actually factual. That there's some science, some facts behind that statement that you're reading. And if you notice that you're consuming media and that is making you anxious, take a break. It's okay. It's not important to be all-knowing 24 hours a day. You need to take a break. Now we switch it over. Focus on what you're doing right now. Okay? A lot of times we might feel like, oh, we can't get anything right, or I'm always messing up. Stop yourself if you notice that you are getting carried away with what ifs. What if I get this? What if this happens? What if that happens? The more your mind focuses on worst case scenarios, the more anxious you feel. You can't stop thoughts. So let me repeat that. You cannot stop thoughts from entering your mind. But you can choose to stop dwelling and choose to take action. Focus on what you're doing right. Focus on a strength that you have today, that you displayed today. Focus on something positive today that you did. If you do that, guess what? Your thought patterns, your thought processes are going to be more positives in the long run. Rely on routines. So establish a routine that involves exercise, regular meals, healthy amounts of sleep is crucial to regulate your moods and your worries. Remind yourself that life is still continuing and ground yourself by doing things like making agendas and setting goals. It can be hard to accept that our old routines are no longer possible because of COVID-19. But looking for ways to be flexible and start a new routine can help you feel less anxious and more productive. So I think this is something that you can apply even for your kids, if you have kids. If you establish a routine for them, that will help them. If you establish a routine for you, it will help you. Because guess what? You will feel empowered. You feel like you can control what is going on in your daily life because you are setting yourself up to follow a step-by-step plan, agenda of the things you have to do. That leads to comfort. That leads to feeling peaceful. So rely on routines. Now, we switch it over a little bit with our kids. You might be wondering, well, how can I know what my kid is going through? What is he feeling? Well, you know what? A lot of times it might not be clear. Okay, it will not be clear. Sometimes kids don't have the vocabulary to let you know, or the knowledge to let you know, yes, mom, I am feeling anxious, fearful, worried. No. But guess what? There are flags that you could be on the lookout. For example, reassuring seeking behaviors. Questions like, are we going to be okay? Is grandpa, grandma, my dad, my brother going to be okay? Where are you going? Are you coming back? When are you coming back? Those type of questions sure prompt you to further explore. If your kids are reluctant to separate from you, if they don't want to leave you, if you're in the bathroom and they're knocking on the door, that's another red flag. Physical symptoms, if they start getting a lot of headaches, stomach aches, feeling tired, those can be signs. Moodiness and irritability, especially if that's something that's not common with them. Tantrums or meltdowns and trouble sleeping. Okay, those are very important. We should not focus just on, well, my kid tells me he's okay, and we shouldn't accept that. We should look for other things. What can I do to find out if my kid is experiencing anxiety? Well, if you follow the flags that I just mentioned a little bit earlier, then these are the next steps. Okay, so for younger kids, you can use a feelings chart. Instead of asking them, tell me how anxious you are, they're gonna be like, I don't know. You can ask kids to point to the feelings they are having now if you're using the feelings chart. Parents can also use a traffic light chart to help kids share how intense their feeling is. Red, very overwhelmed. Yellow, not so much, but it's there. Or green, I'm okay. Teenagers, difficult situation because teenagers don't like to talk a lot. They're entering different stages of growth, of development, and they might not want to come out and tell you right away if you ask them directly. But you can say something like, I saw this article today, it made me wonder about this and that. Did you see something like that? What's your reaction to it? What do you think about what is going on? So you have to ask them questions, open-ended questions that will prompt them to respond in a better way instead of just saying no, yes, I don't know. So here are some examples of some feeling charts. Example of the traffic light. Who has not watched this movie? Okay, blue, green, yellow, red, Inside Out. So it's very important. You can use this as well. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the little kids have seen this. Even adults, I've watched it a lot of times and I enjoy it. So here are some examples, like I said. This could be more for the mature kids. This could be for the little kids. This could be for the little kids. Or you could use this example. Red, remember feeling overwhelmed. Oh. Okay. Next, you might be asking yourself, okay, so yes, now I know that my kid is feeling a little bit anxious. They're having these types of behaviors. Well, let's explore that. What to do to support our kids. Like I said, remember about routine. So just take into consideration the first couple of tips I mentioned are for you. You, the parents, you, the teacher, you, the father, you, the dad, you, the guardian. It's for you. So you could feel calm and then you can support your kids. Structure their day. A routine, essentially. Routine reduces anxiety and regular daily patterns. Emphasize predictability. Predictability. That means if the kid knows what's going to happen next, their anxiety will go down. They won't be asking those reassuring questions. A regular routine will give a sense of control to both parent and child. Why? Well, to the child, because they're going to know, this is what I'm doing. I have control. And to the parents, they're going to feel like they're in control because they're establishing this routine. With the older kids, you can work together in that routine. Establish a regular bedtime routine consisting of quieter activities. Bath, reading with parents, talking with parents, which helps your child to gradually relax. Okay? So again, part of the routine, maybe you say, just before going to sleep, we're going to take a shower and then we're going to read a book. So they're going to go into bed, relax. Maybe you want to go over the the plan for the next day, so they don't go into bed anxious, asking themselves what's going to happen next. Provide opportunities for exercise. So if you live in California, right now the state is there's a lot of fires, so it might not be very healthy to go for walks. But if you live somewhere else and it's pretty clear and the wind and the weather is nice, definitely go exercise with your kids. Why? Because it helps relieve stress and helps your child's body relax. It is important for children to have limits set and consequences for breaking the limits. Children feel secure when there are limits setting restrictions on inappropriate behaviors. Again, if they're anxious, if you set up these rules and consequences, but also consequences and rewards for good behavior, they will feel more calm. Now, this is very important. You as the adult should model calmness. So remember what I said earlier, do not consume so much media. Because if you're hectic and you're anxious because of what you're reading, guess what? You're modeling that for your kid. If the parent's response is fearful or anxious, the child's response is also likely to be fearful or anxious. Parents need to acknowledge and understand their own anxieties and make an effort to contain them when appropriate in the presence of their children. Do not share your worries with your children, and if you are feeling anxious, instead practice relaxation or talk to another adult. Kids are not your therapists, okay? You need to model who you are going to be able to talk to. Either be your doctor, a therapist, or a friend. But your kids should not be the ones hearing you and hearing all the problems that you may have, okay? I don't mean to be rude, but this is very important, okay? If a kid is already having so much stress, imagine hearing their mom or their dad knowing that they're having stress as well. It's not going to be healthy for them. Teach relaxation skills. So learning relaxation skills will help children feel better when they are anxious, worried, or scared. It will also help them learn that they have some control over their own bodies rather than being controlled by their anxiety. So again, anxiety could be good, but it's also important to teach them relaxation skills in case they start feeling overwhelmed. Encourage slow, deep breathing. You can help your child practice this by getting her to imagine slowly blowing bubbles. And I have some pictures and I'll show you guys what I mean. Help your child to imagine a safe and relaxing place and to notice the good relaxing feelings in his body or her body. So what I mean by blowing bubbles is you could make bubbles at home and blow through your hands to make the bubbles, or if you buy one at the store, that's going to help them practice deep breathing. Encourage feeling good activities. So your kid is very knowledgeable. They know what makes them feel good. Of course, you have to insert those feeling good activities throughout their days in their routines that you have already developed for them. Encourage them to engage in activities they enjoy, such as playing with their favorite toy, doing a fun art or craft activity, doing something else active outside, playing a game, reading a book, playing with friends. Of course, right now during COVID, that might not be possible. But even setting up virtual play dates, that could also be beneficial. Children will often need the assistance and attention of the parents to engage in these fun activities if they are anxious. Again, you're going to model for them. You're going to interact with them. They're going to feel much better if you are participating with them. Look for the positives. Okay? If you only focus on if you only give attention to your son or daughter or your kids whenever they do something that is not appropriate, they're always going to be an alert. That's why you give the consequence. You also have to focus on when they do something positive. You have to praise them. When you tell your child what you like about her, I made a mistake, his or her behavior, praise nurtures your child's self-esteem, confidence, and sense of self. This will go very far with managing anxiety of present. You guys do high five, hugs, pats on the back, knuckles, boom, all those different things to show them that you are aware of when they do something good. So you have descriptive praise which is when you tell your child exactly what it is that you like. I like the way you found a spot for everything in your room. I like how you put away all your toys. I like how you're playing very nice with your brother. That's descriptive. You're describing the behavior that you notice. That's going to tell them mom or dad is really paying attention. Encouragement is praise for effort. For example, you work hard on maths on that maths homework. You did really good job on that biology work. That's encouraging. That means even though that they show that maybe they couldn't do the work, they had effort and you're praising that effort. What does this do? Can encourage your child to try hard in the future. It's very motivating, okay? So here are some of the deep breathing exercises. We could do smell the flower. What you do is you pretend or you actually go grab a flower and you grab it and you smell it. And then you blow out the candle. Or a dandelion. You could do the bubble breathing, which is imagine you have a wand to blow bubbles, or an actual wand. If you actually do bubbles with your kids, take a deep breath in through your nose, slowly breathe out through your mouth as if you are blowing a bubble through a wand. Repeat as necessary. Definitely do it outside. You might get upset. They start doing that inside, and there's soap all over the place. Then belly breathing. It's good for your brain. It's good for your kids. It's good for you as well. Place one hand on your chest and the other on your belly. Inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 4, making sure your belly is expanding and not your chest. Exhale through your mouth for a count of 4. Continue this breathing cycle for a few minutes. Feel the stress leave your body while your mind becomes calm. And that's pretty much it, guys. Okay, so hopefully you guys feel that this was helpful. Would love to hear your comments on how I can improve these presentations. In the description of this video, I will put the links to all the resources that I used. If you have questions about the presentation, please leave a comment. Hopefully you give me a like. If you feel like this could be something that you might benefit from in the future with my other presentations, please give me a subscription. Please share it with your friends, your teacher friends, or wherever you work. The coping of anxiety can be applied to anywhere, anytime, any part of any job we do. Okay, so I hope you do well. It is Wednesday today. Okay, we're closer to the weekend, and let's continue to be resilient warriors. Take care. We'll see you guys next time. Okay.